Hi everybody, I'm back, and I'm on whiteboard and markers this time. Not at my school anymore because of COVID. So, just to preface this video, the handwriting might be a little illegible because something happened to my right hand and arm. So, just work with me here when it comes down to the handwriting, okay? We're gonna dive into defamation. This is a great thing for everyone to know about, and also for law students to know about when it comes down to their torts class and people prepping for the bar exam. It has 5 elements that we need to focus on, and let's get into it. So, element number 1 focuses on the defendant making an untrue statement of fact, not an opinion. What's critical? An untrue statement of fact, not an opinion. An example of this is that let's just say that I know a nun named Michelle. And I go around town telling everyone in town that, hey, I know Michelle slept with 5 men. That is an example of an untrue statement of fact, not an opinion. If I told everyone that, oh, Michelle is the greatest person in the world, I think that she will win the Nobel Peace Prize, whatever. That is an opinion, okay? I know a pretty good friend named Israel Anderson, another friend named Kevin Harris. If I say they're great guys, that's an opinion, a statement that technically is an opinion. If I say that they're killers and they killed 2 men in the open field, that is an untrue statement of fact. So try to distinguish whatever is an opinion and a fact, okay? So let's get into element number 2. The statement must be defamatory. The key word here is it must be defamatory. Therefore, it must basically lower not only your self-esteem, but it also must cause harm to your reputation in a way. So like I said, if I say Kevin is a great man, that's not going to harm him. If I say Kevin is ugly, that's not going to harm his reputation. That's an opinion. But my untrue statement of fact must hurt his reputation and must cause him to have low self-esteem, okay? If I say he killed 2 people, that's clearly going to cause harm to his reputation, and that's also going to lower his own self-esteem. So it must be untrue, and it must be defamatory, okay? So element number 3 is pretty complicated, but we can dive into it. So the statement must be intentional or negligent, and it must be published to a third person, okay? An example of this is that let's just say that I'm relaxing in my office and I have a pencil and paper and I write on it that Emily and Lindsay and Susie and Sindhu have killed James Harris. I wrote that in my office, and then someone walks by, peeks into my office, and that person reads it. That is publication to a third person, but that's an example of me doing a negligent publication to a third person because I did not do it intentionally. It was pretty much accidental because that person peeked in to my office and happened to see it. That's a publication to a third person in a negligent way. What's intentional is what we usually know about in society, is that basically I'm talking crap behind people's back, okay? That is an intentional publication to a third person, okay? Example of an intentional publication to a third person is that, let's just say I'm talking to my brother and I tell him that our other brother, Fikri, committed a crime, malpractice, purposely against a patient. That is an example of me making an intentional publication to a third person, my brother, against our other brother, Fikri. Okay? Remember, there's a distinction here. And either or will work. So even if you didn't mean to publish it to a third person, too bad. It will still count. It doesn't have to be intentional. So let's get into the 4th element. The statement must be about the plaintiff or a group of plaintiffs. So let's just say that I made an untrue statement about Kevin, like I said earlier. That will constitute, it must be understood to be about Kevin. So because I said Kevin Harris killed 2 people, it's clearly about Kevin. It's so clear that it's about Kevin, right? But if I also say that, hey, that law firm down the street, all those lawyers are crooks and they steal from their clients, that is an example of me intentionally making an untrue statement of fact about a group of people. So it must be understood that it's about a group of people as well. Okay, it could be either or, a single person or a group, but it must be specific enough to basically be a group of people. An example of that is a law firm. Okay, an example of that is some big business. Okay, let's say I was talking crap about Jeff Bezos and his colleagues back at Amazon, and I said Jeff Bezos is a thief. He doesn't send the products to other people when they pay for it. That is an example of me making an intentional, untrue statement of fact that's defamatory about Amazon. Okay? It's a good example here. So let's get into the last element here, which is very, very, very critical in your legal analysis when you're thinking about defamation, is that the plaintiff must suffer damages to his or her reputation. Okay? Damages must be proven here. Okay? But there are some exceptions. So it really depends on what the defamatory statement was. Was it libel or was it slander? Because if it's libel, let's say CNN publishes their articles online and it's defamatory. It's found to be defamatory and it's found to be about a third person. Let's say Donald Trump. General damages are presumed. And for those who do not know about general damages means pain and suffering. Okay? Special damages is when someone loses their wages. Okay? So this is an example of what these two kind of damages are. Okay? And if it's slander is spoken language. So if I'm talking to someone else and I make an untrue statement of fact that's defamatory about a third person, that is slander. So when you verbally say something about somebody. Voice recordings count as libel. Written statements like you would see in the newspaper is libel. Okay? I kind of tried my best to differ it over here. Okay? So, as I said, libel is a written statement of fact. Okay? So when you're writing notes to somebody, you're a newspaper publisher and you talk a bunch of crap about a third person and there's understanding about that third person. So slander can be tricky because you have slander per se. Okay? In slander, your damage does not have to be proven if it's slander per se. And I wrote a mnemonic here. You see this? Club. C-L-U-B. Club. You go into the club, dance with your friends? No. Club, in this case, is crime. Loathsome disease, example AIDS. Unchaste, basically purely about women, about a woman being a whore. Basically, let's say that someone who's married to a man is having an affair, but it isn't true, right? Then it's unchaste. And lastly, we have B for business. Like I said earlier, if I'm talking crap, I make an untrue statement of fact that is defamatory and is understood to be about that group of people. Let's say that law firm that I was talking about earlier, then that's technically a business. And it's slander per se. Therefore, their damages have to be proven. Okay? And lastly, I want to get into this last part. It's pretty brief. Is that let's just say that I'm talking about a famous person, a public figure. And what a public figure means under the law is that someone is very well known in society and that person voluntarily put themselves into the public atmosphere to be recognized. Okay? And what needs to be proven in a situation like that with defamation, let's say Zac Efron wants to sue me. Zac Efron, Hannah Montana, they want to sue me. Okay? Miley Cyrus wants to sue me. They have to prove that actual malice. Actual malice means that not only did I make a reckless disregard to the truth, I also knew that what I said was false, or what I wrote down is false about them, and I published it to a third person. Okay? That's what a public figure has to prove. They have that very, very high standard because of them being so famous rather than being a private citizen. Okay? And there are defenses that can be shown here for defamation, which can be consent, or truth, or absolute privileges, or spouse, but that'll be discussed in a different video. Okay? So again, let's walk through these 5 elements one more time. So again, the defendant must have made an untrue statement of fact, not an opinion about the plaintiff. Okay, it must be a fact, it can't be an opinion. And it must be defamatory. It must be defamatory, and it must have been intentionally or negligently published to a third person. Fourthly, the same must be about the plaintiff or group of people, group of plaintiffs. Okay, like I said, the law firm across the street. I'm talking about Kevin Harris. That's a particular person. The group I'm talking about over here is the law firm across the street. Because they have multiple people, multiple lawyers working for that firm. That's why it's considered a group. And that's why it's also considered a business, because think about it. If you're going to a law firm, you're hiring lawyers for their services. Therefore, they are technically a business. So they could use slander per se to not prove damages under their claim. Lastly, the plaintiff or group of plaintiffs must suffer damages. Okay, as I said, slander per se, if it's shown, if it's proven, they don't have to prove their damages. However, if it's simply slander, spoken, untrue statements, they have to prove their damages. But if it's libel, like I said, CNN posting something on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, a publication about Donald Trump, whomever, doesn't matter, general damages are presumed. Pain and suffering against their reputation is presumed in that case. Okay? So this is defamation, and I hope I explained it well. And if you have any questions, comment below. Thank you so much. And like I said, I'm going to make a video about defenses to this claim. So be on the lookout.